Hi, I'm Holly Gardner. I'm an actress and a model from North Carolina, and that's the United States. And I, a little bit about myself. I'm a daughter and granddaughter of farmers, and that sort of thing, sort of blue collar background. And when did I first realize I wanted to be an actor? I was about 7 years old. And I didn't do anything about it until much later, but that's about when I realized that that's something I really wanted to do. And my favorite thing about performing is I think that part is really play. The other things that lead up to it are work, seem like work. But once you're there and you're doing the part and you're in the costume or doing whatever it is you're doing, that's the fun part. That's the really great part. And that's what you do all this other stuff to get to, I think. My classes or training sessions, I couldn't get in with even the smallest agency in North Carolina, and there weren't very many classes available. So I moved to Los Angeles and I took classes there. And I got a lot more done even from the beginning there. And I took scene study classes, I took commercial technique, and several other some strange things also that worked, but I can't exactly explain them. And my first professional acting job was in a music video for a band called Seether, and they're fun. They're a rock band, and the video turned out really well. My friend and I are on the side of the street there going, or whatever it is we're doing, but it's a good video. It's really a neat video. And my most recent professional jobs, one was for a band called Fate Destroyed, and I'm in their video. My friend was the director, and uh, we walked in, and there are just these giant buckets of fake blood, and I thought, wow, that's unusual for a video, but we were just supposed to cover ourselves in this stuff, and so we did, and so by the end of that day, you're completely head to toe. You look like some kind of massacre. And then I had to go out and get an Uber. And I'm standing around on the side of the street and I'm waiting for this Uber driver. And he gets there and he honestly was terrified. He had the worst look on his face. And then I explained, I explained. And well, okay. And so it worked out. I told him it was dry and that it was, washable and whatnot. And and the other thing that was more recent is a short film about a man who follows women home and he gets into their closet and he waits for them to fall asleep and then he kills them. But I had a really great death scene, and again with the blood and the fake bullet hole and the screaming and the whatnot. But it was really, really great, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And if I had to pick a favorite experience in my acting so far, I think it would actually be a day that I was just a day player on something. I had two lines, but I was just there for the one day, and we got started at 6:30 or 7, something like that. And my scene partner and I, but now everyone is dressed for a very hot summer day. Okay, and it was actually January in an unheated, great big unheated studio, and we're freezing. And and so this went on for hours and hours. And the makeup woman wanted us to look sweaty, so she spraying us with water, with cold water. And every time you would dry off and start to get warm, she'd come back out and spray you again. And um, after hours of this, I was starting to think, wow, I'm gonna, get pneumonia. And Christina Applegate, who was the star, one of the stars of the film, she comes out of her trailer and she just walks in there, and she's dressed for July as well, except for a jacket over it. And she claps her hands and she says, "Okay, that's it." And she looks at the director and she goes, "That's it. We just need to wrap this up. This is done. Wrap this up and we'll all put our clothes on and go home." And he did. He did. And, It was a good day. It was not that worst day I ever had, but I could have kissed her. I just could have kissed her because we were freezing. And so that was a really good experience, and I makes me smile every time I think about it. And I think what was my toughest experience in acting? The first 2 years were very, very tough, mostly because I was so shy and so kind of introverted. And so the classes were tough for me to get up and perform scenes. And luckily people were really supportive and friendly, and I had lots of people in the class that understood, and I was able to kind of come out of my shell without it being just horrible. But that was the toughest part for me, was and the first auditions, the first like year of auditions was very difficult for me. Have my family and friends been supportive? Mainly yes. And maybe you go somewhere, you're auditioning for something, or you're trying for this, or you're doing that. You're supposed to call them, call me Wednesday, call me from the airport, call me when you get there. And so if you do that, you're okay. And so they mostly are supportive. And what are my career goals? I really want to be an actor who creates or helps create characters. I really want to be, I really do something kind of like, I like Wendy McLendon Covey, what she's doing, on the Goldbergs. I think that's great. I think she is so wonderful. And I like Keira Knightley's work a lot, and I think that Cillian Murphy's great. And so I would like to do that sort of thing, where you can really sometimes even just become a totally different person. I want to have that opportunity. And I think I really, really, really look forward to it, actually. And I've seen so many people do that, even with, prosthetics and whatnot. And I'm like, that just seems so much fun. Something that surprised me about acting is I didn't realize prior to acting classes what a little mouse I am, or what a mouse I was. Just very, very introverted, very shy, and they kind of encouraged you that networking and making friends and things, and getting out and finding out what other people are doing and experiencing is part of it. That was the take on it in my classes in Los Angeles, is that's part of your job and part of your experience. And so I did that. And over the years, I've noticed that I've become a lot more kind of louder, but also a friendlier person, and a little less of a mouse. So that's kind of good. And the things I've done have been really small in comparison to people like Natalie Z, which is a friend of mine. And I think she's great, and she's done a lot of good work. But if I had to give advice, if I was asked for advice, I think I would say definitely invest in classes wherever you might be is fine, if you can find a good class there. And definitely make lots of friends. Definitely try to have a good sort of a home setup, because you do a lot of self-tapes, which I'm actually working on that too, because I've moved. And now I have to kind of get a whole another perspective on things. But that's important. And so I think that's what I would say if I were to give advice. And I am on Instagram, and that's Holly_2324. And I'm on Model Mayhem, which is 13163, I think. And I'm on IMDb. Thank you very much.